Now, the 19% U.S. tariffs on Philippine exports could shave up to 0.4 of a percentage point off of our growth, according to Nomura. Nomura Global Markets Research calls the tariff rate relatively high and warns it poses meaningful downside risk to the economy. With Nomura's baseline GDP forecast at just 5.3% this year and 5.6% in 2016, even a modest hit from tariffs could weigh on confidence and investments. As exporters absorb the impact of that 19% U.S. tariff and employers brace for rising cost pressures, the stakes are high for the Marcos administration to regroup and respond. With jobs, trade, and confidence on the line, we turn to a voice who represents both sides of that equation. We have Sergio Ortiz-Luis Jr., president of PHILEXPORT and ECOP. He joins us now with what exporters and employers need most ahead of today's State of the Nation address. Hi, sir, and thank you for being here with us.
Morning.
Okay,
Morning.
We'll get straight at it. We'll talk about that 19% tariff. I wanted to ask how you feel about it, and from an exporter's perspective, how worrisome is this, especially to our competitiveness?
Well, we don't feel elated about it, but we're not exactly sorry about it. We're just worried that if our competitors are given lower, then we have a problem. No? Right now, you know that from the U.S. point of view, only 1% is our export to them, no? Half of which is electronics. No? So we're talking of that little 1/10 of other products. On the garment side, it is okay. Why? Because good thing that it was clarified by Secretary Go and Secretary Roque that there's still negotiation going on. And the good thing about it, Vietnam, which was brought to our level, we were so afraid. On the garment side, for instance, they are slapped 40% from transshipment from China. Mm-hmm. And we are not. We don't have a textile industry, so we're sourcing most of our. So we're very competitive in that case, in that area. I think that also applies to furniture. These are the other. I don't know about agricultural products, but I think negotiation is still going on. No? So while we're not so happy about it, that we are hoping that we'll be given something like 12, but we're not exactly disappointed about it. Let's hope that further negotiation will clear up some of the questions that we have.
So you want a tariff of 12%?
Yes, because we are so small and we are the best ally here. Most of the consideration would be geopolitics, and I don't think it was taken considered by President Trump. No.
Did you voice this desire of 12% to our trading negotiator?
No. We were hoping that it will be lower than the 15% that they gave to.
Yeah, but shouldn't you ask the trade negotiator, please aim for 12% so that they know how to negotiate?
But I did express my opinion before they left that we should not offer anything. We just have to remind them who we are, our size, our relationship with them, and that we should be better. I was expecting that we get lower. I'm not exactly looking at the numbers.
Sir, what's PHILEXPORT asking now in response, and what can we do to cushion the blow for our exporters?
Well, we had a survey on our exporters in May, and 90% said they're still doing as usual, and they even increased. The other 10%, their buyers are wait-and-see attitude. So they're looking at so they're trying to look at other markets. No? So effectively, at least up to June, even July, I think there is no adverse effect to us of this tariff. We don't know what will happen henceforth.
What are we doing to look for other markets? I mean, this is also an opportunity for people to find other market because the U.S. market is imposing a design.
Well, we have an export development plan, which we do every 3 years. We have laid out the strategies, we have laid out, and including, unfortunately, the government idea of the export development is lip service. We don't have, the one really on the front line of this is Department of Trade. The budget of the Department of Trade is pathetic compared to their mandate. So there's practically none compared to our competitors' expenses for
They have
research,
to do so much with so
R&D,
little.
development, market research, even our postings. I think they have just enough money for stamps. So it's really, we have to graduate
Yeah.
from looking at export as an expense, but looking at it as an investment, because we're being left behind.
Sir, what do you want to hear from the President SONA later on today?
Well, I would like to hear two things from here. No? The ones that we feel are being left behind. Export and SMEs. SMEs is the most underbanked SMEs in this part of the world, our SMEs.
So what specifically on SME and export do you want him to say?
We are on the third revision of the Magna Carta for SME. And again, it's lip service. The funding for SME that I saw in 2019 that we gave is $10.1 billion. Thailand, $230 billion. That's how we expect SMEs to be the backbone of our economy. And we say, well, the SME of Thailand is 90%, also like us, more than 90%. But our SME, 90% of our SMEs are micro. And they don't graduate, they just fall on the side, somebody comes in. So no budget. That we just talk about it. Every government agency will say, we support the SME, everything.
Yeah, but government is the most inefficient institution, right? And asking them to spend, it will not really go to the SME, right? So what do you think should really be done to provide the funding and the capital to the SME themselves, no? Diretso sa kanila. Kasi kung dadaan sa gobyerno, siguro 20% lang yung makakarating dun sa SME.
That is true. The same as flood control.
Yeah. So what should...
Well, I think we have been working that one of the institutions in Magna Carta for SME is the
lending?
DTI lending sa
SB Finance, SB Capital.
Corp.
Yeah.
We were hoping that it will be the biggest lenders, small lender. No? We requested Bangko Sentral to allow them to form their own lending policies and if they have money. And finally, they agreed, no, in the version that they said that if you can take away from the Magna Carta the provision which says to be supervised
by the BSP.
By the BSP, then we can let it go. They can form their own rules, lending rules, similar to not giveaway like Tupad, no? But some lending that they will have to consider that they will not be, there will be expenses based on it, but there will be returns. So unfortunately, there's no funding. I was hoping that we were giving away sa CCT noon, 87 billion, and for monitoring, 15 billion, and I think for the monitoring only, the budget of DTI and the OST is the same as that monitoring fee.
Sir, You mentioned SMEs being underbanked, and you mentioned SB Corp. The proposed MSME Magna Carta reform aims to expand loan access and remove BSP oversight of SB Corp. Do you support this, and will that move the needle on financing for small businesses?
Well, I hope that we're able to, in the draft now, that the SB will no longer be, so they can form their own rules. But you can form your own rules, and supposed to be the funding will come from penalties from the violators of the lenders of yung 10% lending to SMEs, but there is practically none. Everybody's compliant, so we need funding, real funding. And I was working on the idea that if you can give away all this money free, wala naman sustainability, why not give to invest in SME? Maybe 50% will be paid, but they can create jobs, they will create employment.
Why doesn't Maharlika Fund invest in SB?
I hope they can.
That they can provide the funding for
I hope they can. That would be a good source. Maharlika Fund can be. Well, initially, give it 20, 30 billion, and then as it goes along, I'm sure we will develop our SME to the point that it will really be the backbone of our economy.
Okay, we're going to have to ask you to hold that thought, sir. We have to go to this. We interrupt this interview for a minute. Now we return to this interview. Okay, sir, I wanted to ask you about wage hikes. A 50% wage hike in Metro Manila just took effect. And boards in the region are reviewing theirs. You've appealed against further wage hikes. How can we meet them halfway? What are your thoughts on this?
Well, we have always said that the Congress created the Regional Wage Board, and we support it. For the last several years, yung barya-barya sinasabi nila, we have overtaken everybody in minimum wage. We're now the highest in the region from the lowest before. Now, we would like to really emphasize that the minimum wage earners in the Philippines, out of 52 million in the labor market, is there only about 4 million. And every year we keep adapting, we keep adjusting them, saying that this is for the workers. No, they are a minority of the workers. And the unfortunate thing about it is in the formal sector where they are, no, which is 16% of the workers of the 52 million, the enterprises there is 90% are micro. 8% is small, 1% is medium, less than 1% is large. So when they're talking kayang-kaya, they're talking about the medium and the large and part of the small.
Yes, sir. I have because normally when you do a minimum wage increase, although it does not impact those that are not in minimum wage, what people do is automatically they all increase them by the same.
There is a law actually. When people are pushed, that is why from about 4 million, it impacts on the others, nagkakaroon ng merong formula, inaabot ng 5 million.
Pero normally, kasi para wala nang isip-isip pa yung mga businessman, di ba? Kasi hihingi ng salary increase. Normally, kung 50 pesos yung increase, lahat ng tao, ini-increase sila ng 50 pesos sa kumpanya nila. No? So, may impact yan sa buong workforce, di ba?
That is true. And remember, the 50 pesos is not only 50 pesos. That you increase the pag-ibig, the SSS, so it's really plus 30%. So 50 pesos will be 65 actually. Pati retirement, pati yung ano.
Pero, syempre, we have to balance in both, di ba? I mean, we might be higher than others, but our cost of living is also higher than others,
that is true.
Right? So, parang comparison is not apple versus apple, no? Because the cost of living in other countries, which has a lower minimum wage, is lower rin. So the workers is caught in this, ano, na their cost of living is going up, but their salary is not going up. But at the same time, because you cannot kill the goose that lays the golden egg, diba? You cannot kill the business. So how will the two reconcile?
Well, that is why I was saying we should, even if we're not happy, some of the decision of the regional wage board, they're the one who balances it. The workers, the employers, NEDA, DTI, DOLE are the ones doing it every year. Even motu proprio sometimes in some regions. No? And the reason is you have to balance not only the employers, it's not a question of this time. As I said, 52 million in the labor market, only 4 million to 5 million are affected. And how do you balance that? We should address, how do we look at the farmers? Wala namang employer yun. The fisher folks, the market vendors, the tricycle driver, jeepney driver, they are 90%. So whenever you increase, what will the companies do? Especially if they will increase the prices if the market will still absorb it. If not, magbabawas ng tao. Or yung iba, hindi na lang mag-i-expand. So who do we address? And pag tumaas yung presyo, good thing, the minimum wage earner who are regular jobs, they're employed, paano na yung mga farmers? Pababa ng pababa yung kita. Paano
Okay,
yung mga
sir.
fisher folks?
Last question. What do you want to hear from the President SONA this afternoon?
Well, just to say what he did, last year, they requested him to the Senate, yung 100 pesos, nalampasan na ngayon, 50 pesos ka, 45, the other 30, nalampasan na yan sa Senate. Now, the President will just have to say what he said in the Labor Day when he addressed them, when they were asking them to certify as urgent
The wage.
200. What he said is, I am instructing the regional wage board to immediately convene so that they can make the adjustment earlier, a balanced one, which they did. The regional wage board of NCR already came up with their 50 wage increase.
All right. Thank you so much for your time, sir. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for this interview. That was Sergio Ortiz-Luis Jr., the president of PHILEXPORT and the Employers Confederation of the Philippines.
Thank you very much also.
Thank
nice
you,
to
sir.
Nice to see you again after so long.